Hey people, this is Star Homestead India. Today is 24th of September. I'm doing this video. Actually, I have tried to make a video. I have pre-recorded so many things, but I couldn't post it because the work was not done. Now, the work was to put a hibiscus plant in a proper spot on my farm. Not exactly farm, let's say homestead, on my homestead. So I couldn't find a proper spot. Most of the spots on the ground are really poor, has really sandy soil, poor nutrition. But I did forage for some manure the other day, and I used it for my containers, and I have sowed radishes, peas, lemongrass, and eggplants, brinjals we call them as. So the manure that is left over, I thought I could actually use to put this plant in the ground. As I was walking, I found that I had a lot of work that I have to do on the ground. There are a lot of mulch that has to be cleared. There are a lot of broken twigs that are poking out of the ground, and they might actually hurt me or anybody else who actually walks by there. So I have to make it treadable, then clear the ground, make the spot ready for transplanting the hibiscus from the pot to from the container to the ground. So as I was trying to make a video trying to do that, I figured, plants, once you put them in the ground, you have limited accessibility to put nutrition into them, because once they are on the ground, whatever you put, it's from the top. But in the container, it's not like that, right? A container, whatever nutrition you give to the plant, it stays in the container for a really long time, and it doesn't get absorbed by anything else apart from the plant itself. So if I put the manure that I collect the other day and put the plant in the ground, I had to make sure that I give enough, probably 2 buckets worth of manure, so that it can withstand the poor nutrition soil here. And once it gets its roots out, it can survive on its own. Of course, it'll be giving water, but we need to kickstart. You know what I mean. We need to kickstart the plant, help it to grow. So I tried making a video, but I couldn't, because I don't have enough manure, and I really don't want to plant my hibiscus just for the sake of YouTube, because I really want to do it so that I can get some flowers in it, use it for medicinal purposes, mostly to make this homestead look beautiful, right? So we have another video that I'm gonna make, which I haven't done, is me going out foraging for cowdung as much as possible, probably 2 buckets worth. I only have 1 bucket, so I have to make 2 trips. Now, we don't have a set place to get a cowdung from, so we have to, when I say we, I usually take one or other neighbors as a ride along, as a tag along, and so it's not so as boring as how it actually it is. So to make it less boring, that's what I mean. So I'm going to make that. So we have to go to several places, sometimes walk aimlessly, because we don't know where the cows have been. We usually follow the trails on the floor, but there are many occasions where cows actually don't, what do you call when they poop? Put their dung out? Excrete. Okay, yeah, excretion. Let's use that word, excrete. So we don't see their excretion anywhere on the place that we actually think that it will be, but it's not. They usually go off the trail and excrete somewhere else. So we need to follow multiple routes, and always keep our eye open. Now, if the floor that we are searching on, like the place, if it has grass or any kind of weeds on it, and if you see cow dung on it, it's very hard to pick it up using a trowel or a shovel, um, any kind of instrument, that tool that you can use to pick the cow dung up, because it attaches to the grass, and you may have to take the grass along with that, and it's not easy because you need to cut the grass underneath it. So it's a lot of heavy work. That's what I mean. And the guy who actually accompanies me on such occasions has got a job in a local school, and he teaches math and English, which is really good for him. So usually comes home at 4, takes rest, and available after 5 p.m, which is my time of putting my baby chicks back into their cages. I already put water in them using this garden hose, give them fresh water, wash all the utensils in it, in those cages, and put water in it. There are 11 water balls in them. So there are 11 units of cages in those there where I'm pointing at, and 10 feeders. Now the one feeder I do not give to one of my pullets, because they are really bad in managing a feeder. So I put the feeder outside, and they stay as long as possible, probably around 6 p.m. or something. When the night light fails, the others actually go inside and start eating, and getting ready to be locked inside. But my pullets, they take their time, so I put the feeder outside, one feeder outside, though they'll have their fill, and they'll go inside, and they're ready, and I had to lock them all up. Yes, you heard me, I lock individual cages, so I have 11 locks. You might think that's insane. I agree, it's insane, opening 11 locks every morning and closing them every night. And I have 11 units with different types of personalities that I have in my chickens. The siblings are okay living together in one unit. There is a pecking order. Usually the oldest sibling is the toughest one, so she or he controls the rest of the unit. But if you put any of those siblings in any other cage with any other chickens, they get into trouble, they fight, they pluck each other's feathers off, faces off, and it's just huge mess. So you got to be like really well informed before you put them in the cages. Usually they go by themselves, but there are some naughty hens which try to go and go in another unit and start a fight. They do that every single night. So that's heavy work. The reason I put locks on them is because of the location that I'm in. Right, you can see that's just the opening there. That's just a open space. So, and the fence is just 4 foot high, so anybody can jump. Yeah, you don't need an athlete to jump over that fence. Use your brain, you can actually jump out of it and jump inside. And I cannot monitor all night what happens on my farm, although I did put some cameras, and that actually shows me the whole night what happens. So in order to avoid create opportunities for chicken thieves, anybody who maybe is intoxicated or ran out of have really financial issues, they are the ones who steal your chickens so that they can provide for themselves or their families, or probably sell that chicken to a chicken shop, get some money, and buy some liquor with it, alcohol with that, and get high, get drunk, and fall down on the road somewhere. So they do that. So we cannot actually stop an intoxicated person who wants to steal your stuff so they can get some money and get intoxicated again. It's always better to prevent, and I believe in that, and I believe that prevention is cure for most of the cases. In this case, it is very doable, so I lock them up every single night and open in the morning. thought of getting dogs, but dogs are expensive to take care of. But two good dogs, which are which can take care of my chickens when I'm uh, not home, going outside for work. It will be great if they are here taking care of my chickens and taking care of the house as well. It will be great, but that actually is expensive, number one, and number two, when they are puppies, we have to train them really good so they don't harm baby chicks or give in to their instincts. We have one farmer, one neighbor in my part of the colony, and they have two dogs, two big dogs. And when they were puppies, they actually ate a lot of baby chicks. Yeah, their own baby chicks. So they could have trained, they should have trained actually, but now they're fully grown chicken killers. They do not harm their chickens until they're really hungry. So they have to make sure they feed as much protein as possible to their dogs so that they don't fall on the chickens. But their instincts actually kick over sometimes. They're two German shepherds, so they have wolf-like instincts, and they actually kill chickens just for fun or to get high off it. Maybe they get off on that, I'm not sure, but it looks like a play for them. So they end up killing a lot of chickens there, which is really a bad thing and sad thing to witness. But I think it's totally on whoever has puppies, dogs, they have a chance to raise puppies in a way that they become protectors of your chickens and not the other way around. I have seen many farms, many homesteads on YouTube, and also I know many people here in this little city here, a little town or village, you can call it as outskirts of a village, who have chickens and also have dogs. They're in harmony with it. I've seen baby chicks lying on top of dogs, mommy dog, and they have puppies under chickens. Sometimes under roosters as well. So they are in harmony. And that actually happens. I have asked them, what did you do? They do not. All they did was when they were puppies, they control the puppies from biting or getting hold of a baby chick. So when they grew up, they actually think that they're part of the family and they're just like everybody else on the farm, and they're together. And most of the dogs that are good with the chickens are the native species here in South India. If you get a breed dog like a lab or a German shepherd or any big breeds, you always need to train. You cannot just wing it and think they're going to learn it on their own. No, they do not. They have the instincts and they'll take over, and you will actually end up losing your own pets, the other pets, and your farm animals. So that's my experience, what I have seen so far. So I am not diving into getting a dog now, not this year, probably not next year. I have some other big things that are coming up which I have to do. Once I'm done doing that, probably I'll get two dogs by end of 2025 or 26 in the beginning. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So right now I'm focusing on having more chickens, more so that I can sell them. Now, I do not usually sell hens because they give me a lot of eggs. The other day I was sitting down and I was calculating the expenses and earnings, the profits, etc. What I have seen is when I keep a chicken, when it's a hen, when I keep it, she actually brings me more revenue than if I would have sold her for meat. So that's logic, right? That's common sense. So in my currency, a hen like that, okay, now that's patience. That's my forever hen. When I say forever hen, means I'm not going to sell it for meat or put it down, right? It's going to stay until she's old, until she passes away or I pass away. I'm not sure. So a hen like that actually weighs around 2 to 3 kilos. That's approximate. Okay, so she's very feisty one. She's going to pluck your ears out, eyes out if you go to her. If you catch her, she'll fight. she'll scratch. She doesn't go down easily. Anyways, so she is gonna cost around 1500 rupees approximately, right? So that's how much you can give to that hen, and that's one time deal. If you sell it, that's all you get, 1500 rupees. But if you keep it, she lays around 12 to 15 eggs per cycle. Now when I say cycle, is once they done laying eggs, they go into brooding period. Brooding period actually lasts for more than 2 weeks. So 12 days plus 2 weeks, that's a month, approximately a month, right? So in a month you'll get around 12 eggs, and each egg will go for 10 rupees, and that's 120 rupees, right? And she has been with us for past 2 years, and let's say on average she has been laying 10 eggs each month. That's 1200 eggs. So 1200 into 10 rupees. That's how much you got for 1 year, and you make it times 2. That's how much you got. Now minus the food cost and all, it's still more higher than if I sell that chicken and make a quick buck. So that's the reason we do not sell our chickens. This is my new hen. You can see the breed that I created. It's from Kadaknath, a fully black chicken with another rooster that I have on my farm. He's already locked up, usually locked up because he's huge guy, and there are some hens that I don't want him to mount because he'll end up killing them. So I keep them inside, and I put these little hens first. They go in their cages. I lock them up. Then he comes out. Then he goes with the big hens, and he roams around with the big hens. So that chicken that you have seen is his offspring. That's the reason she got longer legs than her mother, and she's almost half the height of her father already, and she's just like 3 or 4 months old. That's it. So that's a wonderful breed. Higher the bigger the hens, the bigger the eggs, right? But longer the hens, you have a higher chance of them being more adaptable in case of running, evasive, running away from predators, jumping in higher distances, and they're pretty faster than other hens compared, and they can actually go up on the tree because she's sleek, not bulkier than the other hens. So which is a really good thing. Alright, so I'm creating that breed, and I have 10 chicks like that right now, out of which 4 are roosters. I'm trying to sell. I'm trying to keep 2 roosters for my hens because I already have 1 rooster that I've shown you recently, and he cannot maintain all the hens, so he needs help. So I'm going to put 2 young roosters on the farm out of 4. The other 2 I'm going to sell along with 1 hen. I usually don't sell hens, as I told you, but that hen needs to be sold because she is very unruly. She kicks the foot down. She doesn't come to you when I call her. If she is not manageable, we cannot protect her, because if she flies over that fence, she is done. That's just 4 foot. Now she can actually jump on one of those raid garden beds and jump over, and there are like 16 feral dogs outside waiting to eat my chicken, and I have to keep shushing them, throwing stuff at those dogs so they can run away. But they know how far I can throw. Probably they'll be laughing in their minds when they see me throwing stones or rocks at them, because I do not throw rocks to hit them. That's not my intention, just to scare them away. But they know exactly what's my limitations are, and they go around. Probably they give a smile, or I think they'll laugh at me. That's pretty sure. I do not speak dog, as you know. So anyways, so if she does that, which is really, she's really capable of doing that. Because the other day I found her, she was crawling up and trying to go on top of the house. If she does that, she can, she can jump over the fence easily. So I do not want to take that risk. So I'm going to sell her. I have to sell her. So that's 2 roosters and 1 hen out of 10 that I have, the young ones. So 7 I'll be keeping, 2 roosters and 5 hens that I'll be keeping. The rest of the 3 will be sold. Now this is September 24th. So in a week we have one Indian festival which is really huge, and people actually sell a lot of the chickens this time, because getting a free range chicken like that, it's quite expensive, and also people love the taste of native chickens like this, instead of buying broiler chickens. Now broiler chickens are good, good for barbecuing meat and all, but when we make South Indian chicken curry, the spices that we use are specially dedicated to these type of chickens, the native type of chickens, which actually brings the flavor out and makes it really tasty. Even though the meat on them is quite less, the ratio they compare to the broilers, but it really tastes good, and people love to have something special for their festivals. So you can actually expect the market being filled with a lot of chickens, a lot of these chickens. And people who do not go to market and they think they need more authentic native chickens, they actually come to me, and they come to people in this colony who have chickens, and they buy it from us directly. So I no need to go to a market to sell them. People actually come to this place, come to this farm, this place, right? And they actually buy. So I have 3 for them, which I can sell in the following month. I'm not going to make lots of money with it, just a quick cash, which will actually help in getting feed for these chickens. Now feed, I have to tell something. And usually I spend a lot of money on my feed. I buy feed. When I say it's not your typical feed pellets, it is not that. I buy rice bran for 30 rupees per kilogram, and I buy around 20 kilos. And I found out that there is another brand, another type of powder, which is a mixture of rice bran, husk, and rice germ, and all the leftover rice inside, which is not good, right, which floats. So they actually make a powder out of it. So that powder cost only 14 rupees per kilo. And what I did was, I wanted to check if my chickens would love to eat that, because it is cheaper and has more nutrition than the rice bran itself. So because of the 3 different types of mixtures in it, I fed them directly. They did not like it, so I had to mix with the original rice bran, around 1/3 ratio, where 2/3 were the actual bran and 1/3 was this mixture. And I mixed it up really nice and good, and I put them in the feeders, and there was no difference, and they started eating just as how it was before. So that's a good news, because now I can cut down feed cost by 1/3, because not by 1/3, lesser compared to previous months. Now I don't have to worry about spending a lot of money on the feed. Now what my goal in terms of feeding my chickens is to grow food here on this farm. Now that is the biggest issue, or biggest achievement, if I really say it. That would be my biggest achievement. Alright, so yeah, so my plan is to create food for my chickens. Thing is, this land is not for growing anything, right? Nothing will actually grow in it if you put in it. Not even weeds grow in this soil. All right, so it is that much nutrient depletion, uh, depleted soil. They were huge trees before, and when we took them out, this is what was left on the floor. There's nothing in it. So if whatever you want to grow, you're going to grow like that. You have to put a lot of manure in it, put a plant on top of it or in the middle of it, and keep adding manure, and put a tire around so that your chickens won't scratch the roots out of that. That's what I did for most of my trees, most of my plants here. And I ran out of tires, and I had to get some tires. If anybody is willing to donate me used tires, I had to get some and put them for my chickens. So I need to buy me a mesh. This would cost me around 1200 rupees a roll. A roll actually is around 30 feet, and if you buy a cheaper one, it would come for 40 feet, and you can have a big enclosure and you can grow food. And I cannot grow on the ground, right? So I had to use containers, and I do not have to worry because I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 containers more, not counting these two. So I can actually keep 13 containers in an enclosure like this and grow as much food as possible. Now the best food that I could give them is the alfalfa and azolla. Azolla have to be grown in a watery area. So my chickens have been complaining, saying that something is here. They call me and they show me with their faces. Thing is, I'm not not that low on the ground level to see what they are saying. So it's quite hard to make out. Just make some noise and shh. Probably it will go away. Probably snakes. Yeah, snakes are the only ones that actually bother my chickens. And the best part is, when chickens see your snakes, right, you don't have to worry about whether to figure out whether it's a venomous snake or not. Because if your chickens are scared, regardless of the size of the snakes, that means they are venomous. That's what I have found out. That's just my experience. It is not a rule, or it's not a study that has been made. And if they're non-poisonous snakes, right, they just stay with them. In the sense, snakes will be going, let's say patience is here, and the snake would be this rope on the ground. She wouldn't attack the rope, and the rope wouldn't attack the chicken. So they have no issues with that. But if that snake was venomous, then she would have made a whole she would have made a ruckus and would have called all her sisters on the farm, including me, because she knows where I stay, and she will actually peck on your window until I come out. That's what she does. I named her Patience because she has no patience. She wants things get done like that. Yeah, she feels entitled. Anyways, so they actually tell me what's a venomous snake or not, and I help them whenever I can, however I can. Yeah. So those are my plans. These are my plans for this week, this month, then the following month, which includes reoccurring foraging for manure, which is the never-ending process, because just like us, plants also need food, just not water alone. So I need to keep getting that manure as much as possible. And I also need to take care of my chickens. I need to take care of their health. I have to give them supplements. As you can see, I do not have cows. So if you do not have cows, you do not have dung. If you do not have dung, there are no worms. And whatever worms that were there on the ground, in the ground, they are done. They have been eaten. There are not even eggs left anywhere. So I cannot provide the necessary minerals and nutritious food lying alone on the things in the wild. So I had to give them supplements. I buy two kind of supplements, which are known as DS, that is dietary supplements. I buy them calcium because they give me a lot of eggs. So those are my goals. Hopefully I should make it. I'm going to make as much as possible, create food for them so that I can cut down on the feed, uh, cost on feed, and also give them as much greens as possible. So yeah, calcium and essential minerals, that's what I give them. Those are the two dietary supplements I give them. In the rainy season I use potassium permanganate crystals, one little tiny crystal in their water, to avoid to avoid most of the flu or seasonal diseases that they might get. Usually they do not get them, but if they do, then they actually become really sick, so it's better to prevent that. All right, so that's all for today. I'm gonna go on a manure hunt, and I also gonna go for um a plant hunt, in the sense there is a moringa tree which is known for its excellent taste of drumsticks. So I'm gonna get a branch of it so that I can sow it on my garden. I already have moringa tree there. That's a moringa tree. That's how it looks like. But this guy is kind of like, it takes a lot of time, and it towers more than 50 feet high. Probably it will go much more up there. So whatever drumstick you get, it will be somewhere up there. So this guy is like one of the big breeds, but I am trying to get somewhere around 5 or 6 footer. That breed is different. I'm gonna get that soon, and when I go there, I'm gonna take you guys for a journey. I'm gonna go with a phone, camera, and probably kind of a machete or something to put the branch out, and I'll see that. Okay, take care people, have a great day, bye bye.